I'm giving you and your robotic elite guard absolute power.
Miraculous Ladybug has introduced dozens of villains throughout its numerous series and specials. Nearly every episode features someone new, exploring why some people willingly stray from the light to pursue evil, creating harm and destruction wherever they go. Ladybug and Cat Noir make quick work of their enemies and usually help akumatized villains remember their morals by the end of each episode, freeing them from the control of the Butterfly Miraculous. Unfortunately, despite the heroes' best efforts, some villains are inevitable. Now that Gabriel has abandoned his role as Monarch and will no longer act as the series' primary antagonist, others will stand up to take his place. The series has already foreshadowed who these new adversaries will be, and in today's video, we'll explore each of them.
He should already be here. Our children are this year's queen and king of the ball. And Adrian is late?
Number 1. Lila. Introduced in the first season's finale, Lila had a role to play from the beginning. Throughout 5 seasons, her character grew more than Marinette's rival into a genuine threat to all of Paris. After being outed as a liar and a manipulator to her entire school, Lila makes significant moves to regain control over her adversaries. Not only does she help Chloe become the temporary mayor of Paris and outlaw heroes, but she also allies her to get closer to Gabriel, already knowing he's Monarch. She later betrays him using the chaos of the Miraculized and the final battle between him and Bug Noir as cover to infiltrate his home, stealing the Butterfly Miraculous from under his nose. At the end of Recreation, we learn information about Lila's next plan. While it's unknown what she'll do with the Butterfly Miraculous and if she craves an ultimate world-altering wish like Gabriel, we know that she desires to get close to Marinette and her friends. She re-enrolls at Collège François Dupont with her new alias Cerise and will act under this identity throughout the 6th season and beyond. However, she could only want to infiltrate François Dupont to enact revenge on Marinette. She could work hard to make Marinette's life miserable, ultimately pushing her to the brink. When Marinette has had enough of Cerise's torment, whether she knows she's responsible or not, she could become a victim of an akumatization. Lila could succeed where Gabriel never did, akumatizing Marinette and learning she's Ladybug. Unfortunately, Lila couldn't approach Marinette afterward and out her as Ladybug, but she could plan to use the information in the future, with an end goal that could end the heroes. Number 2. Tomoe. Miraculous fans who spent the first season watching Gabriel and Adrian's relationship develop were immediately weary when Kagami and her mother, Tomoe, moved to Paris in the 2nd season. It became apparent that Tomoe held Kagami to high expectations, which ultimately threatened to harm her relationship with her daughter. Their dynamic suffers significantly in the 4th and 5th seasons because Kagami ends her relationship with Adrian and begins directly defying her mother's orders. While Tomoe becomes increasingly enraged by Kagami's actions, she also turns to make allies in dark places. The episode Multiplication reveals that Tomoe knows Gabriel is Monarch and that the pair plan to work together to achieve a common goal. As the CEO of a leading technological company, Tomoe helps Gabriel manufacture the Alliance rings and transform the Miraculouses to suit his needs. In the same episode, she tests the Alliance rings and their ability to transform powers by allowing herself to become akumatized, using her new skills to search for Kagami. Throughout the 5th season, Tomoe and Gabriel continue working together, but their relationship seems to fall apart. She becomes increasingly upset due to his continuous failures and the relationship between their children. She agrees to lock Kagami away for their final attack on Paris, preventing her from fleeing or interacting with the Miraculized. However, she doesn't come to Gabriel's aid during his final confrontation with Bug Noir, but she reaps the reward of his demise. At the end of Recreation, it's revealed that she plans to take over his company, likely to continue their previous work. It's unknown what Tomoe stood to gain by working with Gabriel, but her goals should become apparent throughout Season 6, mainly due to her strained relationship with Kagami.
Oh, it's just a scheduling issue.
Your lies show an unacceptable lack of respect.
I'm not lying.
Number 3. Chloe. While Hawkmoth created trouble for Paris when the series began, Chloe was responsible for many of his victims, simultaneously making life difficult for Marinette at every opportunity. Chloe was the series' token mean girl, dedicated to getting what she wanted and knocking her competition out of the way. She remains jealous of Marinette throughout the series due to their shared interest in Adrian. Still, their rivalry becomes more intense throughout the seasons, especially after Marinette finds her voice and refuses to let Chloe get away with her bad behavior. Unlike with Lila, everyone at François Dupont knew that Chloe was bad news and usually only had her interests at heart. Fortunately, there was one thing in Chloe's life that could make her reconsider her actions and consider a different lifestyle: Ladybug. Although she was shy about admitting it initially, Chloe deeply admired Ladybug and everything she did for Paris. She desperately wanted to be her idol's friend and fight alongside her to defeat Hawkmoth. Naturally, Chloe jumped at the chance to use the Be Miraculous and Style Queen, but doing so ultimately led to her harming others in pursuit of proving her worth. The experience was a lesson learned, and when Chloe receives her Miraculous again, she gives her all to be an ally Ladybug can trust, making many fans believe that proper redemption is possible for her character. Unfortunately, most people's hopes for Chloe died out when Ladybug refused to let her continue acting as Queen Bee, cutting her off from the one activity that was helping her become a better person. The shutdown from Ladybug encouraged Chloe to seek out Shadowmoth, allying herself with him to retrieve her Miraculous and maintain control. After their defeat, Chloe becomes worse throughout the 4th and 5th seasons. It seems like she's miserable and determined to drag everyone down with her. She's cruel to her classmates, teams up with Lila to get Marinette expelled, has Miss Bustier fired, and takes over the mayoral office when her father resigns. She replaces the police force with a robotic army she can control, outlaws heroes, and aligns herself with Monarch to stay in power. Ladybug and Cat Noir eventually best Chloe, and she's sent to live with her mother. Many fans believe that her life will become worse off, living with a parent who doesn't care for her or mind her behavior. Therefore, if Chloe returns in Season 6, she may be on an entirely new level and eager to get revenge on everyone who wronged her.
I've changed my mind. I'll tell you later. Revenge is a pastry best served cold, right, Baker Girl?
Number 4. Chris. An older episode once foreshadowed that the next Hawkmoth would have a loyal ally in the fight against Ladybug and Cat Noir. In the episode Time Tagger, a villain from the future appears in present-day Paris to wreak havoc, believing he can defeat the heroes when they're much younger and inexperienced. He's pursued by the hero Bunnix, who can use her super ability, Burrow, to follow Time Tagger throughout time. Unfortunately, her damaged Miraculous puts a damper on stopping him, and he comes close to defeating the heroes. During the fight, he can directly contact Gabriel because he wields the Butterfly Miraculous that turned Time Tagger into a villain. Gabriel praises his future self for coming up with such a brilliant plan. Time Tagger decides to rain on his parade by claiming he works for a different Hawkmoth entirely, insinuating that Gabriel would one day lose his Miraculous and be replaced by someone new. As of the 5th season, we know these events to be true, with the future Hawkmoth likely being Lila Rossi. Once Time Tagger is defeated, the heroes learn that he's an older version of Chris, Nino's younger brother, and someone Marinette babysits on occasion. However, the episode also shows that Lila babysits Chris, winning him over with lies about a video game he likes, earning his admiration and trust. If Lila continues lying to Chris, he could become a loyal confidant, someone she could trust to akumatize at any moment to do her bidding. As Chris becomes a teenager, as shown in Time Tagger, he may become Lila's equivalent to Sabrina and Natalie, her loyal right-hand man.
Do I know how to play Freestyle Clash? Please, I invented Freestyle Clash.
Whoa, for real?
With a lineup of 4 potential antagonists for Ladybug and Cat Noir, Season 6 may be one of the most challenging chapters yet. Without Gabriel Agreste to stand in their way, they'll need to learn the motivations behind each of these new adversaries, who may work against or alongside one another in the future. Miraculous Ladybug could amp up the narrative by having numerous recurring inactive antagonists simultaneously, leaving the heroes to defend Paris on multiple fronts. While we know Lila will make for a compelling plot, multiple arch-nemesis will make for a compelling season.
In order to heal the wound that Cat Noir inflicted on me, someone else will have to be wounded.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Your secrets are mine, and soon I'll have your Miraculous. Monarch.